Alright guys, happy 4th. Want to make this video on Nvidia and Tesla and just reviewing Qqq, but Nvidia did make a breakout yesterday on July 3rd, so I think this is worth mentioning. Recently we were talking about the 1 month chart, and there's a lot of lines on here, but I just want you to focus on these top ones, the blue and the yellow one. Now we were talking about the resistance here around 125. You could see it clearly right here. Right here. Let me see if I can move this up for you guys. Right around this angle, and then also right up here as well. So this has been a level that has not been broken for a little bit. Nvidia pulled back to the 117, 118, but now it's getting very interesting because what I think is on July 5th, on that Friday, what I'm hoping for is we get that pullback. We had that nice break of 125. We get that monster green candle blasting through. I want to see if we get a pullback to retest this 125 range. It's about a 1.72% pullback. If we can get that pullback, then we can start retesting this level and then see if we will bounce off of it. So this is something that I am watching for Friday. And what do Fridays like to do? If they go long, they like to sit long for the rest of the direction, and they'll just kind of trend up throughout the day and then wait for that retest back up. So this is really what I'm looking at for Nvidia. I'm waiting for this. I want to see how it does. Let's see if it pulls back. Let's put the 1 minute. It's a little dicey. Let's put the 5 minute on. We want to see that pullback. Can we get that pullback to 124.8, 125? And then bounce back up to 128. That's what I'm looking for on Nvidia. Nvidia definitely has that potential. And if it can hold the 130, because if you look here, this is a clear resistance zone at 130. So we just got to be very careful here. But I definitely think there's more room to go if we can get past 130. So Nvidia, we'll see what happens on Friday. If it can bounce and get to 125, the longs come in, push it back up to 130. Let's test this area, and then let's see if we can hold 130. If we can hold 130, we have a potential chance to make a move back to all-time highs to 140, which would be another 7% from there. So definitely watching Nvidia for that move, waiting for the break. So it broke through, waiting for the retest, and then blast back up to retest at highs again at 130. And then that is where your short entry is potentially for the first entry. But if it can just break through and then hold and then break above, that's what we're looking for. So that's what I'm watching on Nvidia. Tesla, I have a cost basis of 154 cost basis. So I'm pretty much just watching the stock. You know, I'm down here in this area. This is a nice little, I just been dollar cost averaging in the taxable account. So we're in this range right now. So I think percentage-wise, I forgot what it was. Let's just take a quick look. 154 up to here right now. We're up almost 60% on this stock. We're just holding. This is one of those wish I bought more shares moments. But when you look at this chart, it was very difficult to see that, hey, this is bullish. It's not. This is a terrible chart. It looks terrible. So when you're looking at this, it has broke this trend line. As you can see, a point here, point here, point here, and right here. Now it has broken through, but remember, we have earnings in 13 days on Tesla, so be very wary. You have to make sure that we are going to hold above this trend line around 225 for a push back up to all-time highs. I would say to get back up to 300, which would be like another 30% move. So definitely watching that, keeping an eye on that. But just looking off the 5-day, it's just been stair-stepping up, as you can see. Nice stair-stepping up. And that's why it's good to focus on these 5 days, because you can kind of see the trends as they're playing out. Now it's holding long term. I was going to add, but I chose not to. And it kind of, would have been a good, I was going to add a 200, but I didn't think that Tesla was going to go up 50 points in like 3 days. So, but Tesla does move like that. As fast as it can die, bullish pattern, boom, bullish pattern, boom. So now we'll see, is it going to hesitate at this 250 mark? I could definitely see that happening because, like we said, just going back on the 1-year chart, you have to go back on the 5-year chart just to see this. It is trading above this pattern here. Next, I can't help it, but when I think of QQQ and I look at the max chart, what do you think of? I'm thinking SQQQ. I want to time this top, and I know that's not the way to invest, but my theory is that we get that move from 490 on Friday. We go up to 500. That's your entry for SQQQ. But you got to follow a strict stop loss here, because if we go from, let's say, up there, I'm just trying to get it so we can see the actual gain. If we go up another 9 points, might be like a 1% gain. So yeah, so it's like a 2% gain on QQQ. QQQ, makes headlines. It's at, 500 all-time highs. I'm definitely looking to take an entry. But this is so scary buying SQQ because all it does is decay. You really got to time these pops right. Like you go to year to date, and I'm pretty sure if you invested up here at even $15, you're down over 50%. Look at that. On the top left, you could see you're down 47%. So I'm waiting. I'm going to take that chance. I'm definitely going to make an entry. I'm going to use some of the gains I've made on the year. And I'm going to buy SQQ and see if we can get a move back down. Back up. We'll see if QQQ will pull back a little bit. Maybe 7.5. Because let's just see. That was 2%. So we need another 6% to pull back. 6% is around 7.2 to 7.25. That's probably going to be my entry for SQQQ. I'm just going to be watching it. We'll see if it happens on Friday. I think we're going to continue with the bullish momentum. So if we can get that nice pullback, let's just say around 7.3, let's say, we got to move back up even just to 850. That's a nice 17% return. Because think about it, SQQQ decays over time. It's a 3-to-1 compared to QQQ, the NASDAQ 100. So if you get 6% loss on QQQ, that'd be about 18% gain for SQQQ. So let's just say at 500 where we buy, 499, 500. Now we pull back. Let's see how far that would have to be like a 6% pullback would be around 469, 470. I think more realistic is 475, 5% pullback. So a 15% gain. The reason I say that is because if you look here, you can see that there's a clear support level right here. And this will get tested. So we'll have to see what it wants to do there. So I'm going to look potential, make an entry at 500. My stop is going to be above 500 around like 503, 504. And then trying to get the pullback of QQQ to 475, 476, which is a 15% gain on SQQQ. Just want to throw it out there, guys. Showing you what I'm looking at. That's what I find interesting right now. Apple's just way too expensive right now. I can't justify buying any shares at this price. You could have had them like a month ago at 200 or even 186. You go back on the 1 month, 191. You go back on the 3 month, 163. So I'm not buying Apple on that. I'd rather dollar cost average in the S&P 500. The other stock I was looking at was Mickey D's. Mickey D's is pulling back. It did make new lows. So it broke that 473 mark. 247, 247. But it did hold. So we'll see. Is this just going to be, and then further rejection, 250, we start trending lower. I think that's what we're looking for from Mickey D's. And we could finally get that move back down to 241. And then we'll see where it wants to go from there. I'm hoping we get a nice pullback, come back to like 213. That's where I want to make my dollar cost average entry. So we just set alerts for it. We'll just keep an eye on it. That's really all we can do at this point. And sometimes I feel like trading is just waiting for your entries. And then when it's there, you already created your plan and you just execute. So all the decision making is pretty much out until it gets to your price point that you want. So I just want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch my video on 4th of July. This is Trading Simplified. 2390 subscribers, definitely growing fast. Appreciate you guys. It looks like you liked the last video on the Fidelity Total Market Index Fund. Got 227 views within 24 hours. Thank you to my members for joining and just supporting the channel. I appreciate that, guys. And then looking at this, I posted you can only hold one of these stocks forever. Which one do you choose? And right now, Nvda is at 24%, Google's at 24%, and Amazon trailing by 1% at 23%. So 66 votes, 22 comments, 9 likes. Appreciate you guys taking the time. That's awesome. And then just looking at the content here, definitely check out my long-term playlist, Fidelity Index Funds ETFs, my Trading P&L 2024. All free, all there for you just to look through and browse. Fidelity Active Trader Pro, where I actively day trade, and my day trading strategies down here is what I do. Everything's free, not charging anything. I do have the membership, but I don't charge. It just a if you want to support the channel, it costs about $2 a month, and I do that just to if you appreciate what I'm doing and you're learning, that's definitely awesome. But it's really just to support the channel. It's not like a must or anything. I'm just happy you guys watch the videos, and I get the Google ad revenue, which is adding, so I can buy more stocks each month just with those gains, which is awesome. So I appreciate you guys. Have a happy 4th, and until next time.